Welcome to Start with the Facts. This is the inaugural show, the show that I've been talking a lot of shit about. Us guys coming on the channel and having a sports show starting with the facts. And the reason that it's called Start with the Facts is because a lot of motherfuckers be talking about sports in every way imaginable. And they start with a bunch of hypotheticals, a bunch of what ifs, and a bunch of shit that isn't fact-based. Now, this won't be a formal show where it will be very technical because that shit'll get boring after a while. It is what I like to call like a sober tailgate. Like, well, these motherfuckers is having fun and enjoying themselves, but we're actually going to talk about sports through a factual lens, right? So if you're a casual fan and you don't know much about sports, hopefully you can come and you can learn something from me and the guys. And if you are a huge fan of college sports, hopefully you can learn college, NFL, NBA, sports in general, culture, all shit. Hopefully you can come and learn something as well as with that too. So with that being said, I'm joined today by our co-host, one, my brother down in Miami. Well, a lot of people think that we should be enemies, but he
right. And hold on before you even go all in there. Listen, you said no. I'm unpausable. I'm unpausable. You said this is gonna be like a pretty sober tailgate.
For me.
Okay. Yeah, because listen. Because honestly, I feel like pulling a lot of shit out the air, and a lot of it might not have factual background. A lot of this shit gonna come from just. All right, I'm gonna throw some feelings in there. So just so you sir, understand that I'm gonna throw some feelings, man. But I appreciate you having me, man. I'm excited, ready to go. We've been working on this and talking about this, for almost 2 years. So it's just, great to kind of see it come to fruition.
Yes, and we have our resident white friend. All black podcasts has to have a white friend. And so introducing our resident white friend, my brother and business partner, Mr. Brian Inkrott. How was your weekend?
Oh, great weekend. But when I heard the analogy of the sober tailgate, I thought that was cool. But then he kicked it off with a bunch of MFers, and I was like, I don't know what this is. We're all over the place. I thought we were going to clean it up. We might have some sponsors, and we're going wild today. Okay, good start. We're off to a good start. Let's go.
We're off to a good start. Well, look, I'd say like this. We'll talk about a lot of sports, but I know for a fact who probably outside of me, because we are number one, but somebody I know on this team, somebody who's looking forward to talking about what they have going on. Because they are an impressive team right now. The Miami Hurricanes are super impressive right now, playing a lot of great football. Coach Cristobal has these guys rolling. And there's no other way to kick this conversation off than for Brother DJ Williams to speak upon what's going on down there in South Florida. One, I had a question to you. How or why, outside of Carson Beck, how has the University of Miami brought this resurgence back? Obviously, you see energy, you see an excitement. They look very fucking fast. I tell you like that. And Carson Beck is playing lights out. You all have destroyed USF last week. Ended their whatever you would like to call like their Cinderella story of like ruining people's teams. But just speak about your Miami Hurricanes, my man. And I have a few comments at the end, but I only think it's right for you to speak upon you guys.
You saw me. Look, I'm coming. We coming on y'all. We low. We coming. Listen, this is Cristobal's fourth year, right? The fourth cycle. I think one of the biggest things why the university is so successful right now is he has his guys in. And, when he first came and took over the program within his first, year, he had that conversation. Again, I thought it was wild and crazy to be sitting in a room with the current players right now that are on the roster and then have all the other legends there for like an alumni dinner. And the first comment that he says is, we're going to clean up shop. We're going to get Miami guys here. A lot of guys might have been shy to run away from it. Good. If you're running away, you weren't a Miami guy. If you weren't willing to stay, go through the fire, go through the battle and the testing, you're a Miami guy. And there's the biggest transition, right? We spoke about the U is back. I said that from week one, and it's evident, right? And the quarterback play determines the personality of your team. Look who we had last year, right? We had Cam Ward, right? The best player in college football, right? First pick over a round, amazing. Had a lot of razzle dazzle to him. A lot of shit, he'd be like, oh, that was amazing. Then he'll do the same shit, run around, throw around. Oh, damn, that was amazing, right? Now when you look at Carson Beck, right, and you look at the offense that we have with Dawson, most teams start the game with their first 15. It looks like the University of Miami is starting the game with our first 60. What I mean by that is the rhythm of the team, right? First and down, we're going to run the ball. We're going to take some shots from time to time, but most of the time, it just seems so scripted and so comfortable. And now that you have a quarterback that provides that stability and that comfort, you now see that trickling down through the rest of the team. Last year, our defense was horrible. The reason is because sometimes they were amazing and sometimes it was you didn't cover not one of the receivers. Oh, shit. Just the continuity of the team this year. Again, a lot of the guys from this year are still some guys from last year, but along with, the transfer portal, we cleaned house with the coaching staff on defense. Those guys are running. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. We cleaned house with the coaching staff on defense. I believe the only person that was kept from last year was Jason Taylor. Right? Okay. We cleaned house with that. And you just look at the team, they're functioning as one unit. Whereas last year we had this high-powered offense, and I don't believe on the defense side of the ball, especially in the secondary, we were structured with a bunch of young guys, a bunch of guys that were injured to be in these big shootout games, 45 to 49.
Let me ask you a question, and I don't know if you wanted to go real quick, but when you said that they didn't have Miami guys, what do you mean by they didn't have Miami guys? Like, what didn't they have then, and what do they have now on the squad that's bringing this result?
Well, I just remember sitting in a group chat and with the fellas and being like, is that our starting linebacker that's 5'10" with a belly? Right? So first we'll start with the optics, right? So first we'll start with the optics, right? Last year I traveled to several campuses, right? I was at University of Texas, I was at Georgia, I was at the University of Florida, and seeing these guys come through the hallways or walk by, you're like, God damn.
You talk about players.
Players, yes, sorry, players. You're like, God damn, that's what a college linebacker looks like? Well, that's what we got in-house right now. And then the second thing with a Miami guy is a guy that's just ready to compete, ready for a dogfight, tough and gritty. While at the same time, we got confidence, we got a little flash to us, we got a little swag, but at the end of the day, it is the grittiness and the will to compete. And as you look at this team right now, right, after the first game when we played against Notre Dame, Coach Cristenball said he had to humble the guys and he had them go one-on-one. And he had Ruben Bain go against Maui Noah, and he literally said it looked like Kong versus Godzilla at practice, right? And that's what you love to see, and that's what you love to hear.
Yeah, a lot of the talk in the offseason was about Beck, and he wasn't throwing the ball, at least on camera, and there were a lot of concerns that maybe he was going to be off to start the season. It certainly doesn't look like that. But outside of his throwing motion, just how is he gelling with the team? How is he fitting in?
He's fitting in amazing, right? Again, he came in, grabbed the steering wheel out the gate, confident with the guys. Even though he wasn't throwing, in the offseason with the guys, he was still linking up with them. He was still a part of the team. He was still in meetings. But I think the key thing about Beck is he's happy, right? If you look at last year.
He looks ecstatic, yeah.
Exactly, right? Looked like he's having fun. You can see, with several guys on the team, he has a little handshake. He's complimenting guys, when they catch the ball, good run, all the things that a quarterback is supposed to do. And if you look at last year, there wasn't a lot of that. So, we were worried, we were nervous, right? When you have a leader like a Cam Ward that comes in, sets the program on fire, it's like, okay, what's in succession? Who's going to follow? And I feel like Beck has stepped in amazing.
My other question, not game related, but game day related. What did you do for the game? I'm going to ask you every Monday what you did for the game because I feel like your Saturdays are a lot more exciting than mine. So I want to hear what you did.
So to be honest, I did not go to the USF game. I knew it was in the bag, right? I'm preparing. I didn't want to say this out loud, but I was preparing for this upcoming game, which has been announced as College Game Day. University of Miami, University of Florida.
Hey, look, you go ahead. Look, make the transition. There's no need for me to make it because that's what I was about to talk about next. So go ahead. You have the stage.
Yeah, look, again, everybody was talking about this Cinderella story at USF, right? Starting the season with 2 victories, beating 2 ranked teams, beating the University of Florida, look, I knew what it was, right? I knew what type of team we had, and I knew that Cinderella story was going to be over quickly, right? So I was preparing for that following week. I'm transitioning to Dime Life store. We're going to have Gator merch in there. We're going to have UN merch there. And then, I got the blessing. I was rooting for Florida all week to beat LSU. And we'll dive deeper into that, right? Because at the end of the day, I just wanted to do parties and I just wanted to do tailgates. But now the game has still been announced as a college game day. And I know that a lot of people are wondering, like, why? Why would you have a 1-2 University of Florida basically hosting not hosting, but being a part of a game day? Listen, we all know these rivalry games are huge. We all know that records don't matter. What happened last year don't matter. And to be honest, Florida, the program has been embarrassed in the last several weeks. So I expect them to come out, and I expect it to be a dog fight. I expect it to be a dog fight. Now, at the end of the day, we're going to be the dog that's on top. No pause, right? Wow. But it's going to be a dog fight.
Yeah, so one, for anybody who doesn't know, who doesn't keep up with college sports, Florida has started off the year. Everybody thought that this was Billy Napier's year, that he had turned last season around and he would go out here this year and build upon the momentum that, he created last year. And I was one of those people, and they came out the gate. I don't know who they beat. They beat somebody the first week. I probably should have did some research on that, but they're 1-2 right now. And the conversation quickly swung from him building on last year to, will he be able to make it out of the season? And we're seeing actively people that are, getting fired actively during the season. You had Deshaun Foster and also the guy for Virginia Tech.
Brent Pry, yeah.
Yeah, but my thoughts about, what's going on with the University of Miami and Florida, I believe, like, he's probably going to give the most passionate pregame speech, because I know that he knows that if he goes out there and plays Miami and gets his ass kicked,
it might be it.
It might be it. How you lose, like, losing isn't everything, but how you lose is a thing. And when you have a team like Miami who's playing very well, whose quarterback is fucking putting up 300, 400, and 500-yard outings, and you have a bunch of momentum, and you have game day back, and you have this resurgence of confidence, and you have, like, the alumni base and former players and people who are just excited, that is a hard, I don't know, that's just a hard thing to overcome, for the opposing teams. And so I don't know how to get it done. I'm rooting for just a good game. I don't have any dog in the fight. I know Billy Napier. I know a lot of guys who play for the University of Miami. I'm happy that game day is down there. I told y'all before, I get happy when Florida football is back. Yes. I like the attitude, the swag, I just like it. I just think it's just good for college football. I think it's good for sports. I think it's good for shit talking. But Billy Napier and all those guys down in Gainesville, I just don't know what happens.
I'm just rooting for a Monday better story from DJ. Weekend for that. Big game against USF. I thought I was going to hear all kinds of tequila shots and people dancing.
Oh, hold it. Can I say something before you go?
Go ahead.
Before you go, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that I don't think the fans caught what he was talking about, but he has a Dime Life brand. So in the store, he said his store is going to be filled with both Florida Gators and the University of Miami gear. So what are you trying to tell you is like, hey, motherfucker, I win no matter what.
Exactly. I win no matter what. But before we even transition, I want to ask Brian this question, right? And because Mo, when you spoke about the importance of this game, and you said he, and I believe you obviously that he is Billy Napier, right? Yes. But if you look at the quarterback play last week,
DJ Lagway,
five interceptions, right?
Yes.
Now, and here's what I'm trying to ask you: is could he possibly be a coach killer, right? And by coach killer means you have those great athletes or great player, and you kind of build and mold your team around that individual, and then when that success doesn't happen or that individual doesn't play up to standard, the rest of your team. Yeah. The rest of your team is powerless, right? Because the game plan, and you look at the athletes, and everything that you have is built around this one guy.
Yeah, I mean, they have the history, they have the NIL, they certainly have the facilities. I mean, Maurice has talked to me about the facilities at Florida just being top-notch. They have everything, all the pieces to the puzzle they just can't seem to fit it together. And is that a Billy Napier thing? I don't know, but if you're going to hang with the number 3 team in the country and lose by 10 points and give up 5 interceptions, I think it's hard to say that that's on Billy Napier, in my opinion. I think, 5 picks is 5 picks. And, I hate to say a college kid's a coach killer, but it's starting to feel like that.
No, he is a coach killer. I'll say it. When you say 5 picks, right, I just go from the technicalities of football. Man, there's this thing called progression. And when you start going through past progressions and you read defenses accordingly, it's either read 1, read 2, read 3, check down, get rid of the ball. It's really that simple. I don't care what level of football you've ever been on. It is recognize the defense, snap the ball, what is happening post-snap, and for you to throw 5, like you can get a pick from somebody tipping the ball. You can get a pick from
once,
just
maybe
a bad
twice
ball,
if you're
right?
Bad luck.
When you throw 5 picks, you don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Something that somebody's throwing in front of you, you have no clue as to what's going on. So a coach can only work with what they have, right? Whatever players that I have, right? And you got to remember, this dude, DJ Lagway, he was a kid who was going out here fighting for more NIL money, and they fought to get him back there or fought to get him into the University of Florida the way they got him in here. And these guys come in highly touted. They argue their points as to why they're worth what they're worth. And I'm not saying that he's not, but there's a professional responsibility once you have an exchange to basically perform a certain way. So I had notes before DJ jumped into the conversation about University of Florida. I was going to ask that same thing. I said, is this a Billy Napier thing, or is this hey, this is who I have at quarterback? And then when you're in this era and you pay for a premium quarterback, it's hard to bench a kid who you've probably given millions of dollars to. Yeah. Like in the NFL, you can trade somebody. You probably have another backup who has experience in some sort, and so you can pull him in and play him. But when you're probably paying your starting quarterback $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, and then your backup guy's probably making about $400,000, it's hard to go back where in the NIL era, and this is just to explain everything to people who may not understand NIL. These teams are going out and raising money from businesses, alumni bases, and people, and they're gathering donations to basically give to these kids, right? So whoever you end up picking as your starting quarterback, starting running back that you've paid a premium to, if that person isn't working out, it just isn't as simple as, let me sit this guy on the bench and go get this backup. One, you may not have a backup that you can afford that may be as talented. And 2, if you've bet on the wrong person and now it's time to go get somebody else, it's hard to then go back to that fan base and say, hey, man, give me all that money again and let me go out here and try to, prove that I was wrong the first time, but I'm going to make the right decision the second time. So you're trying to ride out, this situation with DJ Lagway. So to your point, I know that was the original question, DJ.
Yeah.
I actually believe he could be a coach killer. But I also would tell you this, when he goes to, when the Miami Hurricanes watch that film, they're going to watch all of the shit that confused him, right? And so the Miami listen to me. They're about to say, raise hell and make him get rid of the ball fast. So if you've thrown a bunch of interceptions, I'm just going to bring pressure on you, which means you probably have a shitty line, which probably means that you're making decisions too fast or tossing it up. I'm going to create the same thing. And I don't know.
So if this game on Saturday in Miami, correct, DJ? In Miami,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
If this game is 3 scores or more, 4 scores, if this is a rout, does Napier is he gone before Monday?
But I'll let you answer first.
That's tough to say, right? Because again, right, when you're talking about a premier program like Florida, if he's gone, who's going to fill in and step into that place? Right? Like who is that? I think they give him a few more weeks. Like we've spoken several times about this gauntlet where the University of Florida's next 4 games, in no particular order, but they have Texas, they have Georgia, they have Texas A&M, and I think they play Tennessee, right? Yes. All ranked games. Tennessee should have won and beat Georgia the other night, right? The kicker missed the kick. But look, I'll give Billy. I'm gonna help you out, baby. Billy, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to give you the game plan, right? The issue is, last year, DJ Lagway was actually forced into the starting position. Graham Mertz was the starting quarterback, right, in week 1. So, obviously, they knew DJ Lagway wasn't ready. Starting quarterback gets hurt. They throw DJ Lagway into the fire. He has success. I think the issue is that he had so much success last year coming into this season. They've kind of opened up the playbook, right, and given him more opportunities. I think they need to condense the playbook almost like they did in the beginning of the season last year until he gets comfortable, right? They were like, oh, he was successful last year. Now it's time to throw in all these 3, 4, 5-step progressions, all these other wrinkles. Well, no. Let's condense the playbook because, again, he was one of the number 1 quarterbacks in the country. He's a stellar athlete. If you've seen the kid, he's 6'3", 6'4", 240 pounds, can run, can throw. He has the ability. But I think if they, I almost said we, goddamn, I'm trying to sell these shirts. Goddamn, goddamn, I'm trying to sell these shirts. Hey, if they, right, see, I wore Florida all last week. That's goddamn.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Will, we'll just edit that.
No,
right?
we're not editing that.
But again, they should condense the playbook, try to lean on the run, right? Because, again, Miami's going to attack. We know they're going to confuse him, right? He, from what happened last week against LSU, his timing is definitely off. So that should be what the game plan is, right? For Billy Napier, that should be what the game plan is. Condense the playbook, slow the game down for them, and then just see, right? Now, if they do that and the results still aren't there, I think that's when we start to lean heavily on this coach killer situation.
Well, I have another topic to bring up, and we're going to start with the facts on this one, right? And we're talking about quarterbacks and being coach killers, right? And we're talking about quarterbacks and underwhelming quarterback play, right? And this young kid was touted as the Heisman frontrunner. And then he came to Columbus and they played the Ohio State Buckeyes. And what happened was, it was I don't want to say it's disastrous because that is a tough word, but it was a performance that was underwhelming, right? And people made a lot of what he was doing, and they said, hey, maybe it was Matt Patricia inside of his tricking the young kid, right? So they hung their hat on that. And then over the next 2 weeks, who I'm talking about is Arch Manning of the Manning Empire, the Manning legacy, came out and he had 2 more weeks of underwhelming performances. Even though they won, the performances in which he had was underwhelming. And this last week, they booed my man over in the University of Austin, or not the University of Austin, in Austin as quarterback. And so I understand it's very rough to get booed by your fan base. It's also rough to be a Manning. It is also rough to play quarterback, I think, at any major college program. And so I had a ton of thoughts, and I have a ton of comments around there. But my first question I'll ask you, and I'll ask this to you, Brian, how do you think, and I want to ask this the right way, in succession, how do you think it, you know what, this is a white question. I don't know. Shit.
As long as it was taking you to get it out, I had a feeling you were going with a white question.
This is a white question.
Trying to figure out how to say this.
Yeah, just how do you think he's processing it just as a young white dude, right? I got how I may process as an athlete, but it may be a different way he processes it as a young white dude in this scenario with being a Manning, coming from a prominent, affluent family with all the expectations, being a quarterback at the University of Texas, and Texas is a premier blue blood program, and also the expectations of him being a Heisman Trophy winner. Like, what are your thoughts? I'll share mine at the end, but just wanted to hear your take on it.
Yeah, I think they're both extremes. I think the first thing is you overhype somebody, and I mean, I think he played in 4 games last year.
Yes.
So to have the expectations that he's going to be the next biggest thing since LeBron James, like, that's not possible. Like, you can't it's not fair to that kid to make those comparisons, but it's his name, it's his certainly his uncle's, father and grandfather's reputation that helped build this.
Yes.
So I thought that was just a major overreaction. And then I think how he's performed, I mean, to come into Columbus and lose by a touchdown, he did actually play, I think, pretty well their second game against San Jose State.
Yes, he did.
Still missed a couple of throws, but the stat sheet looked really good. But then this last game, the downside is completed like 44% of his passes, 11 for 25 or something. Got booted home, did rush for 2 touchdowns. So the guy can run, he can move, but I think both are overreactions. I think his first year as a starter is where you should probably say he was, to me, more expected to be, and he'll just progress throughout the season.
So let me ask you this. So in saying that, so when you said overreaction, before you used to get your opinion off of ESPN, Fox, or just like these standardized platforms, right? And I guess, are we saying that his reputation and his status is has the expectation been built around social media, and then now we're gauging it off of this inflated belief as to who he is?
Yeah, I think if his name was Bill Smith, I think the expectations for a first-year starter at Texas would look exactly like the stat sheet shows. I think it would be he's performing right around what the expectations are. I don't know. I haven't looked at last year, Quinn Ewers, what he looked like through 3 games. I'm guessing it's not too dissimilar. It's just a guess. I'd be curious to see that. But I just think he was overhyped to start with, and I think he's getting buried pretty quick just, because of the
But what do you all of those facts, but what do you do in a situation? Like if you're him, right? You can't change your last name. You can't change the fact that people have put these expectations on you. You also can't change the fact that you've benefited from all this.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's life, dude. It's like a coach, getting criticized in the media. When you're making $6, $8, $10, $12 million a year, like that just comes with it. When you're Arch Manning, you can't get these whatever the eyeglass company is, you can't get these commercials that are going to air, and you're getting endorsement money.
Yes.
Big dollars, right? And you can't get this and then be disappointed when you don't perform and you're criticized. So it comes with the territory. They're 3 games in. I don't think he's going to get back to being like a Heisman front runner like he was at the beginning of the year.
No
but
chance.
I bet by the end of the season,
he's a lot better.
He's a lot better than he looks right now.
What, DJ?
Mo, what you do is you call your Uncle Peyton. That's what you do, right? We all know Peyton Manning as Omaha, just 2-time Super Bowl champion, just one of the premier quarterbacks in the league. But
Yes.
Go back and look at Peyton Manning's rookie season, right? I believe he threw double-digit picks, right? Had a lot of tough losses. So he has the luxury of having someone in his family where he can pick up that phone and have those conversations, right? That's what he needs to do. Because number one, which is most important, is his confidence, right? Doesn't matter what the people in the stands are saying. It's how you feel about yourself and how your teammates feel about you, right? I still believe Sark still believes in him. I still believe that his teammates still believe in him. And I think that's why some of the stuff that he did in the offseason, right? He was, he in the picture, he in the trap, he in the slum with those guys, right? You know what I mean? He made, those were strategic moves just in case his shit gets bad. I still want to be your foxhole guy, right? But what he needs to do is pick up the phone, hit up Uncle Peyton, and be like, look, when this shit got crazy on you, like, you know what I'm saying? What did you do? Because his uncle went through it, and his uncle ended up being a Hall of Fame quarterback. Look, his other uncle, Eli, I think Eli got booed and was trying to get replaced his whole goddamn career.
Whole career, yeah.
Right?
In New York. Yeah.
If you look at Eli's stats, he is literally like damn near like 50-50 across the board and everything. Just an average guy, right, that put it together on the biggest stage when he need to against the biggest quarterback that's ever existed, Tom Brady. So go ahead and reach out to the family, man. Zooms, chats, try to figure it out, man. But listen, Arch, the number one thing is don't listen to those haters, baby. Keep your confidence up.
Well, look, we have another one. Start with the facts, right? A lot of good conversations up to this point. This next conversation that I'm about to have, he's been no stranger to the media over the last, I don't know, probably 6, 7, 8 months with college football. And I always fuck his name up, but you all know who I'm talking about. My man, Nico Amalava. Is that how you said, DJ?
Coach killer. Program killer.
So for those who may not know who Nico Amalava is, he's a young kid who played quarterback last year at the University of Tennessee, had a ton of success, went on a playoff run to play us, Ohio State. We beat them here, but nonetheless, the kid still played well. And then during the offseason, there was talks that his father had went to Josh Heupel, who's the head coach, and he had negotiated or tried to negotiate more money for his kid. For whatever reason, it didn't work out, and the kid ended up transferring to UCLA very late. And if you don't know, there was a ton of controversy, a ton of bad media, both towards Tennessee and both towards Nico, about him being advised wrong and just a bunch of just nonsense in general. Then he landed in UCLA. If I'm not wrong, I think he landed late. He went to the program kind of later in the summer. And the next thing I know, the kid is out here and they're playing like shit.
Yes.
And my man, Deshaun Foster, is a UCLA legend, played running back for UCLA. And after Chip Kelly, who was the head coach prior to him, had left and came to Ohio State to win a national championship, if I might add, Deshaun Foster came and took over as a head coach. And I don't know how UCLA did last year. But this year they started 0-3. And so you have all of that basically into the UCLA football environment. And they started off like shit. So they had to fire Deshaun Foster last week. And you're stuck with my man, Nico Amalava, whatever it is, right? And so I had like a ton of questions and a ton of comments. And the first one I had is about Nico, and I'll finish with my Deshaun questions later. But the first question, DJ, to you, with Nico Amalava, right? He can enter the transfer portal and move on. That's one question because the coach left. And he can enter the transfer portal because the coach got fired. And based upon collegiate rules, a player can enter the transfer portal and transfer if their coach is actively fired during the season. So, one, about the transfer portal, should he hit the transfer portal? And just what do you feel about the Nico situation thus far?
I mean, yeah, and that transfer portal window is around a 30-day window, right? Listen, we spoke about players being coach killers, right? And this situation that's happening in UCLA, obviously it's not all Nico's fault, but if you look at the success that Tennessee is having without him, right, it obviously shows that he wasn't the right guy for the program, right? He's at UCLA. They're starting 0-3. Head coach gets fired. I think Nico's gone. He's going to jump into the portal. He's shown that throughout his history, right? Things get tough, he's going to run. And trust me, when you're starting off 0-3 and your head coach gets fired, everybody remembers, listen, that shit is like getting a substitute teacher, right? That shit is like getting a substitute teacher. They're in the Big Ten. They still have to play Ohio State, right? They still have to play Penn State. Michigan State is looking amazing with the quarterback that they have and all those receivers
they just
out of the
lost
portal.
to New Mexico.
I know.
It doesn't matter who they're playing in the Big Ten.
No. I'm going over like the guaranteed losses.
Guaranteed.
Like those are
they might not win a game.
Those are booked. And so when you look at Nico, he's already showed you he isn't a foxhole guy. He's going to jump in the portal, but who's going to want him, right? Because remember, he comes with a very, very high price tag. So jumping into the portal, he has to get paid as much or more. If not, it'll be the fucking worst debacle ever to be the fucking face of a program, to be offered $8 million in high school, for them to build the program around you from your first year as a rookie, as a freshman, to make it to the college playoffs, then fucking go from sugar to shit, negotiate it, right? Don't get paid. The program is winning without you. Go to another program, you're getting paid less money, your head coach gets fired, you jump in the portal again, and you're probably going to getting less money than that. If there's one guy, there's one kid with him and his representation around him that's been able to fuck up something, Nico, you're that guy.
Yeah, I and for people who don't know, as Nico's, out playing the market and his options start to close, right? There's not much availability. So he ends up at UCLA. And then Joey Aguilar, the quarterback at UCLA last year, right?
Yes.
They basically made a trade in college athletics.
That was crazy.
He ends up at Tennessee. So the biggest winner of all of this is probably Tennessee.
Yes.
Joey Aguilar. The biggest loser would be UCLA, Nico, and honestly the Big Ten. The Big Ten needs to relegate UCLA to like the Pac-2 and make it the Pac-3. The fact that UCLA has gotten beat back-to-back weeks the way they have by, Mountain West teams that's just embarrassing. You can't, if you're the Big Ten, you can't.
Well, I will say this. Remember I told y'all is this the same team that played Michigan a few weeks ago?
New Mexico, yeah.
I told y'all a few weeks ago that they was a good football team.
Let's see how they finish this.
Okay,
let's watch the rest of the season.
So here we go.
Wait, you said who was a good football team?
When I see New Mexico State or New Mexico,
whatever they
are.
No, listen, get out of here.
Listen to me.
Listen, get out of here.
Hey, listen to me. New Mexico are, I don't even know y'all name, but if
the Lobos.
The
Lobos. If this is the same team with the red helmets,
yes,
I'm telling you that when I seen you all play Michigan, I was like, this is a decent team, right?
Michigan is trash.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, Michigan is trash. I thought we gonna, and that's if we're starting with the facts here, an Ohio State guy that's gonna argue me that Michigan isn't fucking trash. This is crazy.
Okay. I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing that my Lobos are better than what people are giving them credit for. Two things can be true at the same time. Michigan can be trash, and the Lobos, those things can be a better team than expected. I'm just telling you, right? You know, when you look at a team and they're playing, and you say, man, if they just had either some depth or they had another athlete, like this team would be a decent team. I'm saying Michigan was bad a few weeks ago.
You basically just said, damn, if they had a different team, they'd be better. And if they had a handful of athletes, if they had no.
Oh, okay, look, this has nothing to do with this conversation, but I saw Ohio University play Ohio State this last week, right? I'm on the field. And as I was watching this, I was like, so, you know, once you start beating a team by a lot of points, you start paying attention to different shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, it feels bad, right? And I said to myself, the only difference, and this, y'all can weigh in on this, right? And I said the only difference between your premier programs and your max school or your second tier programs, I said, is really depth, right? You'll have a layer of guys who are real good, your 5-star, 4-star guys. But where I said when we started to beat these dudes is that they didn't have any depth to come third quarter. You know what I'm saying? So our ones had beat them up for the first 2 quarters, and we were rotating guys in and out on the defensive line, offensive line, and they were down by a bunch of points. And then it got to a point they just gave up. And I was like, man, that is really the difference between your premier programs, where our number twos
there's a key word. You said premier. So are you saying New Mexico is a premier program?
No. I'm not even halfway saying that.
Can we just get you on record to say what are they going to finish the season record-wise? Are they going to be in the top 25? Are you going to think they're going to make the playoffs?
They're not even going to be in the 20.
Wait, did you say make the playoffs? Bro. This is our fucking first show, right?
Hey,
starting with the facts. If we're going on record talking about New Mexico, the Lobos is a premier program.
No,
and we're trying to drop hot takes about them finishing in the top 20.
No, if you want to talk about hot takes, the biggest hot take, and I love him to death, is now this is totally unscripted. Like, how the fuck is my man? They're in the top 25 and they've lost 2 games. Notre Dame. And that's a hot take. Like, and Marcus,
take.
Yeah, Marcus Freeman, my man. But I said, yo, if this doesn't show you college football is a business, like that's everything.
Should they be replaced with the Lobos?
No.
Hot take, right? And can the Lobos beat Notre Dame?
Well, shit, after the other game, after Notre Dame lost to Texas A&M at home, man, they would give them a competitive match. I couldn't believe what I seen from my man. Well, I don't know what the fuck is going on in South Bend, but I don't know how they lost that game. But by the way, did you see the game? Did you see the end of the game?
I did not.
Oh my God. Did you see it?
Yeah. Notre Dame, Texas A&M?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck you lose that game.
Well, because, I mean, they keep showing a replay of a ref missing a pretty... I mean, the offensive lineman basically tackled.
Yeah, okay.
You know, the defensive tackle for Notre Dame, which allowed him to have more time to throw a touchdown. But, rough ending if you're an Irish fan.
No, I get it. That was... my man tackled the shit out of him. The dude was coming through the fucking A-gap, and the guard, like, my man tackled the shit out of him. And I don't know how you missed that call. But me and you have a history of missed calls. So
this guy.
He's gonna start sweating again.
You promised me we'd be like 6-7 games in before you brought up that Miami Ohio State. Fuck it. Hot take.
Hey, we'll edit this.
No. Hot take. Whether it's the college playoffs or the national championship,
they're gonna meet.
University of Miami and Ohio State will meet this year.
Now look,
hey, hold on. We'll meet this year. That is a hot. I want that from from the bottom of my nuts. I want it so bad. I want it. I would. Oh my God,
this is
so bad.
This that's a very Paul.
Give it to me. No.
It is two. Well, I guess 2 things are consistent.
What do you even say?
Hey, 2 University of Miami guys. You and Mike Irvin have the most pause moments on the network.
Hey, Mike, them old school niggas from the 80s and 90s different, dog. Every time I see Mike, he kiss me, and I just freeze. Like, you had a conversation, you be chopping up, like, all right, then, dog, you hit, like, here, Mike, bring your ass in there. All right.
Are you serious?
Niggas from the 80s, right?
Hey, Mike come from the era with the leather gloves with the knuckles.
Yeah. Ooh, Mike the best, dog. Listen, Mike is the best. Mike might be the best thing in the game of football, high school, Pop Warner, on any level. Mike is the best.
Did you see the video when he was in Brazil for his birthday?
Yeah, he can't do the real thing. He can't. I had to look in close. And I said, wait, is that glitter? Is that a navel ring, Mike? What the fuck we got going on? But listen, Mike can tell you, you better you love to be 50-something years old and have this body.
Hey,
right?
Listen to me. Hey, my man go from he go from well mannered and well tempered and very thoughtful to like wow, man.
Listen, I don't know. Look, Mike got dread. It took Mike like 2.5 weeks. All of a sudden, he had dreads. I'm sorry, Mike. Let me stop. Mike had a low boy. He had a little twist, and the next time I saw him, he was wicked out.
Hey, listen to me. For anybody who want to see the craziest video for Michael Irvin, it was a lot of crazy videos out there for him. But I think the most legendary video I've ever seen of Mike Irvin, I don't know what he was doing, but he was either giving like a pep rally speech, a pregame speech, and he had the University of Miami's shirt on. You know what I'm talking about? What was that at? He was going crazy.
That was actually 2017 at a pep rally for Miami versus Notre Dame.
Yes.
He was just salivating. They gonna come in your house, and you gonna come in there, and then they gonna sit on your porch. Yeah.
So if anybody wants to see a legendary Michael Irvin video, that was it by far. And I think like legendary classic, but the hot take was Ohio State. I just think it's fate, right? Somehow, some way, Ohio State and Miami will definitely meet each other. I hope. You know what? Let me give it a hot take. What I actually hope in my soul, and what's over my shoulders are all my championship rings. I hope that we actually play the University of Miami in the Hard Rock University. Yeah, that's to me.
Explode.
Like that is. Yeah.
Give it to me. I deserve it.
I promise you, I hope that we go to Cristobal. I hope we see y'all motherfuckers in the national championship game. I want you to line up all of the alumni on one side, and we're going to line up all of our guys on the other side. And I hope that we play and that we kick the shit out of y'all.
Hey, listen, I want it so bad. I'm going to show up to that game full uniform. That's how bad I want it. Hey, I want that shit so bad. Full uniform. And watch the game. God, please. You don't understand. I've been holding this inside. Like, look, after we won our first game, I got the little tingle. What's that?
Well, look, hey, for those who don't know, there's a history. Those who don't know, there's a history between the University of Miami and Ohio State.
We got you.
It's specifically us, and we have an episode where we break the entire thing down, and we'll release that episode later on, or a few weeks. We'll find out when we go into it. But for those who don't know, if you just go do your research, the University of Miami and Ohio State have a decorated history with football, and so. I'll jump in. Well, we got sidetracked for a little bit, but we did have. I tell you like this. This is somebody who should probably have a bunch of tension between somebody, and he's probably the most godly man, or one of the most godly men in the NFL, and it's my man Russell Wilson, right?
Oh, big day yesterday.
Yeah, he had a huge day, but I don't know how I would feel if I passed for 450 yards, and then I had to look up at the scoreboard and realize we lost. And 450 yards is a shit ton of passing yards, right? And I would be sitting back, and I know how, like, when I used to be on offense, right? And I'd be running the ball, and I fumble it. I'd be like, shit, man, I let the team down, right? And you can see, like, defenders would be looking like, man, what the fuck, motherfucker? You gave us a short field. You know what I'm saying? And you put the team in. But also, when you're on offense, man, and you doing your thing, and you be like, man, could y'all stop a motherfucker?
Just once.
So I don't know. Let y'all weigh in. Like, how would you feel, Brian, if you passed for 450 yards and you still came out? He's like, man, we fucking lost. Like, just your comments during the Cowboys versus the Giants.
I think Russell Wilson's looking at this like, who cares? Like,
Oh, you think so?
oh yeah, because he's back. He's vindicated himself. He's back. He's a starter in the NFL.
That's a very selfish way.
Yeah. I think that's how he's looking at it. Like, I think if you hooked him up to a polygraph, he'd rather throw for 450 and a couple tutties and lose than maybe have 115 yards, 50% passing completion.
Because you say he was wrote off.
Yeah, because he was kind of cast away and he's kind of bounced around. So I think I think he's good because of his performance.
I don't think either of you guys saw the game.
Well, I did, but where are you going?
Well, go ahead. I was trying to see where he was going with this.
Did that game go into overtime?
It did.
They lost.
What did Russell Wilson do in overtime?
Threw a terrible pick.
Okay, so your 450 yards don't mean shit. When the game is in overtime, the game is on the line, and you threw a punt where the defender damn near fair caught it.
That was terrible. Terrible pass.
Listen, that's how you lose.
So you're negating the 450.
Listen, fuck the 450, right? Situational football, right? You talk about how a team can have 450 yards and still lose. I had 2 games in my career, right? In college, my senior year, we played the University of Tennessee. We lost the game, I believe, 9-7. Tennessee did not cross the 50-yard line in the second half. Tennessee had a total of, I believe, 70, 180, maybe 200-yard max. We had 450 something, but guess what? All the big time situations in the game, we lost that. The following week, we go play Virginia Tech. We got blew out. It was 33-10 or 14. Virginia Tech was 1 for 12 passing with an interception. Sean T picked it off. They ran the ball 45 times for 145 yards. They had a total of, again, another 170 yards. We only gave up 1 touchdown, I believe, on defense. We got our ass kicked in special teams. So, yeah, you can pad your stats. You can have all the numbers. But at the end of the day, football is a team game. And, yeah, Russell can be looking out and say, hey, motherfucker, I threw for 450 yards. Why don't you stop him on defense? Or why don't you guys make the play on special teams? Then they're going to turn around and point right back and say, hey, motherfucker, why don't you not throw a pick in overtime? How about that? How about that?
I think he's so desperate for Malik Neighbors' approval. I just think he's desperate for it, and you can tell he's forcing the ball to him. That last pick, I mean,
he Uncle Rico that bitch.
Oh my gosh!
I bet I can throw this ball over these mountains over here.
Happy, and I think it's coming back to bite him in the ass.
Well, another big failure was our guy in Kansas City.
Oof.
Both of them. You got Mr. and Mrs. Taylor Swift and Patrick Mahomes. And they had an underwhelming performance. Start with the facts. Had an underwhelming performance against the Eagles. And so is this a scenario where you say, hey, man, the dynasty run for the meantime may be over?
They've never started 0-2 since Patrick Mahomes has been the starting quarterback.
No, but
it might be over.
But are you how did the same burst that you've seen them come and take the helm from Brady? Like, are you watching the Eagles go on their dynasty run? Like, that's one thing. And then 2, what can the Chiefs do, to swap out players? Is this time for Travis Kelce to, roll off?
Don't you think you just hit a time in your career, and they're both probably there, Kelce and Mahomes, where the motivations just change over time, and maybe that burning desire to, be the next Tom Brady might just wane?
No, I got a hard take. I think it's over for Kelce. I don't think it's over for Mahomes.
Yeah, I was about to say, Mahomes got five, at least 5 left.
No, 5. I think he has more than 5.
I said at least 5.
Oh, he does. So, excuse me. Pardon me. I think that the Kelce and Mahomes show has become distracted, and I'll say distracted by Taylor Swift. Were things that were probably important before, and you was hanging out with your homie. Now your homie is a celebrity, right? And I don't think that this is as important to him. And I think that he's making more money or as much money off the field as he probably did on the field. And just how money works, when you start basically receiving the same sort of bread elsewhere, you're like, man, this shit isn't as important. And then when you start to look at all of the assets, and even though Taylor Swift brings a bunch of notoriety and a bunch of visibility to the brand, man, when you start looking at all the assets that they could have to put around him, I think it's time to say, man, like, out with Travis Kelce are, some of those other pieces that don't make sense with Mahomes, and I would start rebuilding around that. That's just my hard.
And to add to that, Kelce stops right now. He's already moved into top 3, top 5 tight end ever in the history of the game.
Yes, correct.
I think Patrick still has to perform a few more years. Now, he can go down as the best talented, but again, I think that he wants to go down as the best or one of the best. That's why, his career has to go that 3 to 5 more years. Kelce's already
solidified.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll compare Kelce is like a collegiate player where he's slotted in the draft no matter what he does. Right? You have guys, I'll give an example, like Jones-Drew was like that, right? Just because of Jones-Drew's size, second round was the highest that he could ever go. What Kelce's done thus far in his career, right? I think he's slotted in that 1 to 3 range of best tight end to ever play in the game.
I agree.
And I don't think Mahomes is slotted in that yet. And so, like, when you talk about the distractions and, being able to make money elsewhere and your attention being elsewhere, I can easily see why that is for Kelce, because it's like, what do I have to gain here? What is there that I can grab onto? What do I have to gain here? There's not much left to gain here. And you're getting old.
But you're starting to experience the upside of, like, from you winning the Super Bowls already, you're starting to experience some of the post-career success that most guys probably have to normally experience it after they're done playing, right? It's the same thing with LeBron, right? LeBron is participating in things historically that people participate in after the sport is done, with buying teams and investments and so on and so forth. And I think that Travis Kelce is there. And they say, man, what does that mean? Well, like, you're just not as available to people, or things aren't important. And when you come into the locker room, like, it becomes like, hey, I'm just here to do a job, rather than like, I'm just passionate about this thing. And I'm just making assumptions. I don't want to say that this is
yeah.
But I would like to believe that, when him and his brother signed these huge ass podcast deals, and you're required to go do podcasting and produce, and you're probably making your rounds with your woman, and you're in and out of town off of jets, and then you turn into a celebrity and a fashionista and all that other shit. It has to be fun, but the main thing isn't the main thing anymore, right? Those ingredients that made you all special, which you became a huge driver of, they just aren't there, right? And it may be tough for ownership to say, hey, even though he's not a bad thing, but he's just not the thing that we need for this, right? I just noticed forever, like, some of the best football players that you'll ever play with are the guys who actually need to play football.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Totally.
And they don't like.
That's true in a lot of things in life.
Yeah. They need this thing to happen in order for success to happen in their life. And I just think, like, you just get a different attitude out of that. But then that thing in sports is what radiates and becomes contagious to other teammates. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when your main guy, even though he may not be distracted, are there other guys who can become distracted? Like, I'll give you a prime example. I seen a video, and I know everything that's going on in the world right now, but I seen a video of Taylor Swift, and she came to the stadium, and I don't know if y'all seen it, but they had a black divider. You seen that?
So you couldn't see her?
Yeah, so you couldn't see her.
That's crazy.
But that's not football. That's not like a football environment. Even at the highest level, if you're the biggest celebrity, you may have security around you, and you're coming into the stadium, but it's not that level of, like, pretentious Hollywood. I'm more important in the environment. Like, the most important thing in sporting environments are the guys playing the sport. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the guy who owns the team. You should be, right? And so when you just start to bring these other elements into it, and if I'm somebody on the team and I'm watching and I'm not getting in the game, you start paying attention to all this dumb shit, you be like, man, get this shit the fuck out of here. Like, I just want to play.
Yeah. Yo. I think there's one common denominator. It's that good. Hey, listen, taking Bill down, taking Kels down, Tyreek Hill getting took down. It's one common denominator. It's that good, that 20, it ain't 20, but that 20-something good. That thing will take you down. Yeah. Stay away from that good, man.
Hey, DJ say these men are being killed by the vagina. That's what he said. You all don't know what he's saying.
Boy.
DJ said that these men have been all destroyed.
And you got to think, he jumping in some Billy Dollar good. Look, I ain't never had no $1 billion good.
And he's making more with his podcast than he is as an NFL player. This guy,
Jeez.
dude, Travis is living the life.
Him and his brother.
And he gonna retire and he gonna be what's called a house husband.
Hey,
She gonna be on the road. She gonna be touring.
not a bad
He
life.
gonna have an apron on. Listen, I'm a house husband now. You know,
Hey.
sit around and drink martinis at lunch during the day with my boys.
Look at him. He looks like a house. Look at look at DJ. He is a house. Look at him. He's ready.
Well, look, thank you all for joining us on the first show. We'll be back tomorrow, as usual, same time, same place. But start with the facts is here. It's here to stay. Pretty sure throughout the season we'll have special guests. We'll evolve what we're doing with the show. But thank you all for joining us.